Hi, happy Sunday afternoon to you. So I have a question for you. When I ask you, what is resilience? What comes to your mind? Just take a moment. Is it something you have or you don't have? Do you believe it is something that is something you can grow, something you can practice? Do you think some people have it and some people don't? What if I told you that it's something that we absolutely each have and that we can absolutely learn to enhance and strengthen our capacity to have the internal resources to be more resilient in the face of the circumstances of life? So, to frame this up, I think we've heard the term before. You insert slang here, blank happens, right? And we're talking about how that's just life. Things will come up in our lives that will challenge us and be more difficult for some than others. Maybe it's full-on crises, right? But those challenging circumstances, we will often say, blank happens. What if we change that to shift happens? What? So let's frame it up. So first things first, resilience is actually something that we can develop. It is within each of us. It is something we can develop strength and capacity to do faster with the ability to fortify it, which we'll talk about in just a second. And it's important that we also know that it comes right alongside the capacity to slow down using our mindfulness techniques of being more objective and curious about what the circumstances are rather than getting wrapped up in the story of the moment. So having a wider perspective. What is the actual truth of what is going on? And self-compassion, right? Feelings are there. Fine, feelings are there. This is difficult. Okay. This is painful. Ouch. Okay. All of it has space. All right. So we're not going to judge, but we're also going to maybe tap into internal resources that we've been fortifying. So the ability to shift. The shift is to change our mindset of when these adverse circumstances may arise. See them then instead of happening to us and potentially going into a state of contraction and fear. Instead, we see it as an opportunity for growth and to practice these skills. So the shift is a mindset. And in doing that, you actually tap then into different neural networks from the lower brain structures that deal with fear-based emotions and reactivity to the higher brain structures that cope with emotional regulation, with capacity to really reason and executive functioning. So shift in your mindset, literally shift in your brain, and you can then tap into your inner resilience resources. So let's talk about then, how do we do this? So number one, there are going to be 5 things. So number one, the first is that you need to simply accept that change is inevitable and that stuff happens, okay? And it's not just happening to you, all right? You are not alone in that there are things that are going to be, there are going to be plenty of times where things are going fine and then something really challenging happens to you. So accept that change and stuff happens, okay? We also have the opportunity to cultivate a positive view of ourselves and our capacity to cope with these challenging circumstances, to bounce back faster, which is really what we want to think about with resilience. It's not that we're always going to be in this blissed out state of mind and always calm and happy. That's not true, right? So it's the ability to cruise along, and when something hard happens, you're able to get back into your lane and back on your feet faster and faster. That's resiliency. We get there also by recognizing we can, by saying things to ourselves on a more regular basis, maybe even each day writing down 3 to 5 things or saying things to yourself, things that you are proud of, things that you know that went well for you. And what you're doing is you're replacing the negative thoughts with positive ones. So when you do that more and more, you're absolutely then turning that negativity bias towards a positivity bias about ourselves. So change the story to one of positivity about yourself and your capacity to cope. Create and maintain connections. Super important that you don't have to do this by yourself. Nobody said that that's a rule, okay? To have to go ahead and be in the ring by yourself. No, not at all. There are times where it makes complete sense because nobody knows better than you how to work through a particular circumstance, or maybe it's quite private and personal. Right. But you also have people around you who can be subject matter experts. They can be people you can lean on. It's your community. Maybe those resources come in the form of podcasts, books. Maybe it comes in the form of professional help, whether that's a coach or a therapist. Lean on your community to help go through circumstances if you feel like you need some guidance and overall support for you as you go through. And maybe just tips and tricks that other people may have tried that you could try on yourself. And then see the challenges or crises as opportunities rather than the possibility that, again, that something is happening to you. See it as almost like the university is saying, haha, it's a chance to strengthen those tools once again. So you shift, right? You shift that mindset, keeping perspective on the fact that this is not going to be something that you can't work your way through. The truth is that you are dealing with stuff, other people are dealing with stuff, and you know what? You've been through stuff before, and you got through it. Maybe that's the truth you seek is, what did I do last time that helped me get through this? Is there anything there for me to draw upon this time? So keep that perspective. And really, really important, take care of yourself as you go, physically, emotionally, psychologically. Rest, replenish, nourish yourself. So take care of yourself. All of that ties back into self-compassion, and it fortifies your overall capacity for strength. And it keeps you in a space of being able to move from reactivity and emotional dysregulation into the higher brain. We're better able to do that when we've taken care of ourselves. So instead of saying blank happens, we say shift happens when those circumstances get tough, crises arise. It's okay that it takes practice. It's okay that it's going to be different from me to you, circumstance to circumstance. That's human, that's life. Take the time to maybe for yourself, pick something small that's going on in your life. Start with baby steps and maybe see if you can start applying some of these tenets to that so that you're practicing for when something bigger arrives. Yeah? All right, really good. So as those circumstances arrive, shift. Trust your capabilities to cope. Practice and get faster and stronger and bouncing back. Yeah. With that, namaste to you. I wish you a peaceful week. Bye now.